Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Today, I will introduce you an excellent paper named Do Users' Characteristics Really Influence the Perceived S-Ervic Equality of Multimodal Transportation? Hub MMTH. An Association Rules, Mining Approach whose author is Vive K. Chauhan. Secondly, I will introduce the methodology data collection. To begin with, Association Rules Mining ARM is a type of unsupervised learning technique and descriptive data mining approach. Data mining involves machine learning to explore the hidden and interesting relationships among the dataset variables in the form of patterns and associations. Anand Vihar MMTH in Delhi has been considered as the area of study in the present research. As shown in Figure 1, Anand Vihar MMTH encompasses 3 different public transit facilities, namely rail, metro and bus, along with the availability of intermediate public transport and ride sourcing services. Descriptive analysis of satisfaction ratings of the attributes is presented in Figure 3, which illustrates the percentage share of the satisfaction ratings for all the variables as well as their average values and standard deviations. The research outcomes will be advantageous to the transport policy makers while implementing the user-based policies in the MMTH for embellishing the public transport infrastructure and to make the urban cities inclusive, resilient, safe and sustainable. First of all, I will show you the abstract of this paper, exploring approaches for improving the service quality SQ of the urban multimodal transportation hub MMTH and alluring new passengers for providing seamless and sustainable mobility are the major concerns and objectives for transport planners and operating agencies in the contemporary world. Considering the fact the present study endeavors to identify the association of users, socio-demographics and travel characteristics with different service quality levels. Developed for AMMTH. The data was collected from 515 users of Anand Vihar MMTH. Delhi. K-means clustering categorized SQ in 3 levels: low, medium, and high. Association Rules Mining Approach was used to generate various interesting rules, which also highlighted the disparity among users' perceptions on the basis of 3 different SQ levels. Results demonstrated that the passengers traveling 3 to 5 times per week, those who were having the availability of driving license, users with more than 15 minutes of transfer time, and the female users were the least satisfied with the SQ of MMTH. Interestingly, the graduates with high income traveling for work purpose and users who were retired from their jobs were highly convinced with SQ. Hence, these rules showing the interrelationships of service quality with SDTC can be considered as acceptable to accomplish the objectives of the present research based on their support and confidence values as presented in the scatter plots. Figure 6 provides the group matrix plot of association rules for all the perceived service quality levels. The size of the balloon represents the aggregated support values, and the color indicates the aggregated lift values in the group with a particular service quality level as a consequent. The rows of different groups are plotted in such a way that the aggregated measure of interest, i.e., the lift in this study, is decreasing from top to down. In other words, the rows are sorted according to the decreasing values of lift, and color of the balloon fades as it goes down from top to bottom. Therefore, the group of most interesting rules, according to the lift, are displayed in the first row of each plot. The rules for low, medium and high perceived service quality can be easily identified based on high lift in the figure 6A, B and C, respectively. The cut-off values for the individual perceived service quality scores were as following. Score 3.116 for Cluster 1, Score between 3.116 and 3.516 for Cluster 2, while score 3.516 for Cluster 3, on the basis of their individual service quality scores. The clusters were named as following: Cluster 1 Low Perceived Service Quality, Cluster 2 Moderate Perceived Service Quality, and Cluster 3 High Perceived Service Quality. The identified clusters were further used in ARM approach. Scatter plots presented in Figure 5 are employed to illustrate the relationships among support, confidence and lift values for each category of perceived service quality. The support and confidence values are represented on the x-axis and y-axis, respectively. Each point in the scatter plot signifies one association rule. Majority of the association rules in the low service quality are distributed up to 3% and 80% of support and confidence levels, respectively, while most of the rules for both moderate and high service quality are located up to 2.5% and 90% of support and confidence levels, respectively. Association rules for all the levels of service quality are located close to support or confidence border, which means that most of the ARM rules are close to the support x-axis and confidence y-axis. These scores were used to identify different groups of passengers as per their reported perception towards the quality of service. The optimal number of clusters should be ascertained in advance. Given that the data sets were unlabeled, K-means algorithm was executed in our software to cluster the data, and iterations were carried out to obtain the optimum number of clusters. Elbow curve method identified that the optimum number should be 3-figure for A, and the same was confirmed by the values of the average silhouette S. With figure for B, 3 service quality clusters, which are illustrated in figure for B, had average silhouette values of 0.48, 0.54 and 0.59, with 115, 224, and 176 samples, respectively, while average silhouette S width was 0.55. The passengers were categorized into 3 clusters, i.e. 1, 2, and 3 according to individual perceived service quality scores as calculated using the service quality equation for each of the respondent. Next, we will concentrate on the results. Service quality equation of MMTH is illustrated in the equation 5 as shown. Below, satisfaction ratings of 27 variables were collected during the survey, with 515 MMTH users, and used to determine the S-ERVIC equality scores, using EQ 5 and thereafter. Different clusters were identified based on the SQ scores by deploying K-means clustering ARM. Technique was implemented further to explore the interrelationships among service quality, socio-demographics, and travel characteristics. Score for service quality for each of the respondent was assessed using the different latent constructs, as illustrated in the EQ 5. The users who don't own the driving license DL are generally considered as transit captives, with better satisfaction towards the service. Recommendations on the basis of the associations, interrelationships, and heterogeneity observed among the users having various SD and TC are illustrated below. Stipulate segregated hawker zones and enforce constraints on the shopping chains and outlets in the transfer areas. Systematic maintenance and advancement of walkways, escalators, and lifts which assist in reducing the transfer time, as well as transfer distances. Execution of security workforce. Online for forms and emergency contacts of the regulating and security staff. Increment in the automatic ticket machines, ticketing counters and supporting staff. Attainability of information signs, markings, crossings, and availability of travel information in different languages at all entry and exit locations in the MMTH. Enhancement in the facilities of waiting areas and canteens with advancement in the seating places and charging points. The last part of this paper is the conclusions. The present study investigated the association of various socio-demographics and travel characteristics with the service quality of MMTH by using k-means clustering and association rules. Mining ARM. The major contributory findings of the study obtained from ARM are presented below. Passengers using the MMTH 3 to 5 times per week and having more than 15 minutes of transfer time within the modes and queuing time of more than 10 minutes. While buying tickets were classified as users having low perception of SQ. Passengers traveling 1 to 3 times per month for recreational tourism purposes with their family were identified as moderately satisfied users. The flexibility and availability to use multiple mode options for travel in MMTH, due to the better frequency and schedule coordination among the modes, as well as availability of information related to different modes in multiple languages with better accuracy and reliability.